Saints of God, we need a spiritual revolution. It's time out for us allowing Cocoa and Tennessee to take over our churches. You need to step up and say something. You pastors that are sitting back and allowing this to go on, it needs to stop. Stop sending them your money. What are they doing for us? They're not doing anything for us. We had Bishop Roll when he was here only 3 weeks. The first thing he asked for was the deeds to our church. He wanted the deeds to our church, and he told Brother Andrew Grant so that we can borrow money. Andrew Grant told him, no, we don't borrow money on our church. Why are we allowing this to happen to us? We got to be strong. If you believe in God, believe that he will take care of us. Stop allowing stuff to go on that's going on. You got Bishop Pelt that's coming after this church for the deeds to this church. These deeds have not now, not ever have they belonged to Tennessee or Cocoa. They have always belonged to the church, the people of God. This church has bought out pastors like Pastor we bought pastors out like Albert Nesbitt. We bought pastors out like Marcel's. These are pastors that came through this church. Bishop Wallace. These are all pastors. You got the Duncombe's and the Hepburn. All of them have come from out. This was the mother church. Why are you all, you councilmen, sitting back and allow Pelt to do what he's doing to us? Also, you got in a meeting where Bishop Pelt said that my husband tried to attack him. We got it on video. We got it on recording, saints. You can listen to the recording. Anybody that wants to listen to the recording, get in contact with us and we'll let you hear it. But I can tell you what he did do on that night. He sat in there and he did something unbecoming of a bishop. He told me I talk like a cesspool. What is that for a bishop to be saying? I called Tennessee and I talked to them in Tennessee. I wrote Tennessee. Tennessee never did anything. We had a bishop to come here and he told us, stop writing those people. They don't care about you black folks. Don't write to Tennessee anymore and don't call to Tennessee because they do not care about you black folk. You got Bishop Andrew Grant when he passed. You had Bishop Pelt on the prayer line. It was stated on the prayer line. Well, that one's gone. Mo from 5th Street is going to be leaving. All of these things, they are unbecoming of a bishop. They are unbecoming. Saints, we need to step up. We need to step up and stop sitting back and being afraid. We're sitting back like we are on Mr. Sam's farm, and Mr. Sam is going to come along and do something to us. Why are you afraid? If you believe in God, you believe that God can do all things. Why are you so afraid? Now we're going to let Sister Pat come in and she's going to talk to you.
Good morning from my heart to yours,
Out loud.
and from the movement that needs to take place regarding specifically the Cocoa Office, Churches of God, and the organization of the International Church of God. We hold here a complaint where Bishop Pelt launched a complaint to say that our church had been abandoned and we had been basically dysfunctional. We're not abandoned, we're still here, we hold services. We've held the deeds to this church since 1923, back when the Colored Works was in force. This was during the segregation time. How dare the Bishop Pelt of the Cocoa Office come in to execute a bogus warranty deed to take over the deeds to this church. Saints, you need to realize that there are two different structures here. There's a structure between the difference between church and state. Church of God is an organization that you pay tithes into. What do you get out of paying your tithes and giving your offering to? We own this church, we do our maintenance here. If we had something to go wrong with this church, do you think that Tennessee or Cocoa would come in? No. What we need to get back to is the Colored Works mentality, where we own our land. if we're going to pay into an organization, then it needs to be for the benefit and the edification of God's work, not this thievery that's going on. Now, all of the black churches in particular down here, most of you own your own churches. Bishop Pelt is on a mission, just like with the Sebring Church, this Church of God, to take the land. Deuteronomy, the book of Deuteronomy, read it. It talks about your inheritance. It talks about how a man's worth is measured by his land and the cattle on the hill. We're here to worship God in spirit and in truth, and we're here and we're tired of bishops, pastors, leaders of God getting hung up into being the lover of money. We need to go back to God. We need to protect what's ours. And if there's a preacher in the church and he won't live right, call him up, put him out, let the church roll on. We need to be about rededication of our lives to God. Thank you for your time.
And also, saints, I want you to do your research and your homework. Bishop Pelt Church does not belong to the Church of God. He has his church, and it does not belong to the Church of God. So do your homework, and then you stop bringing these pastors in. Before you bring these pastors in, start doing some background checks on them, because that's the question that I asked on Howard Road. If we had done our background check on Howard Road, he would not be here. Do your homework, saints of God.